All right, welcome back to the Basement Bird Show. I had to give it a nice delay so we can build up the suspense because Reed and I. Oh, that was loud. Reed and I are
Yeah,
joined
that
in the
really.
basement today by another member of Reed's family. This is two of three family members for Reed in the last 2 weeks, right? Because
Last three.
within 14 days ago, within 14 days ago, technically, right?
Oh, fair
Wrong.
enough. Yeah.
So two
Sure.
weeks from time of recording, but yes, within the last three episodes, we are joined once again by number one guest of the podcast, or most appearances besides Reed and I, Linden. Welcome back. to the
Thanks.
show.
That was a well said sentence there, Logan.
Yes, thank you. Words are hard. Words are hard.
Oh gosh.
How we doing?
Good,
Linden,
good.
Reed,
I,
any major fires that happened today? Like, did you start a fire while you were cooking dinner today?
I did not know. I didn't cook dinner, but
Nope. No fires today.
That's
Am
good.
I the? I have a question about the guest situation. Am I
All
the
right.
yeah.
guest to appear like close? My appearances to be closest together because I was just on
Definitely.
in November over Thanksgiving. If you want
Probably.
to talk about cooking and fires, we could talk about Thanksgiving. But
Oh yeah, no. Light anything on fire, we just burn
no,
something.
yeah, right.
That's different, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I think you're the closest that has appeared. Yeah.
I think you were the inaugural guest. We talked a little bit about it last week, but you were the first guest that we ever had. That was on the old show, right? That was on the Halloween live stream, I believe. Or did we have? No, we had you first and then Tony, right?
Yep.
Reed, do you remember this?
Or was it Tony
okay.
first?
No,
Yeah.
I was I remember I'm pretty sure I was first, and then I may have
think so.
watched Tony's portion after
Yeah.
you guys kicked me off.
Well, well, you don't have to say it like that, but
Let me
you know.
check this out.
No, I'm pretty sure you remember.
Yeah,
that
here we go.
correctly.
Here it's Linden. Yeah. The first one.
The first guest. But I enjoy. I'm a naturally curious person, right? And I enjoy talking to interesting people. And you had an interesting experience recently that was discussed with your dad, with your father, on the show, and I was totally caught off guard. It was like Reed took a wet noodle and smacked me right in the face. I was not ready for it. You
an
just
analogy.
recently sang the national anthem at I guess it's a minor league hockey game. I guess it's professional, but it's an AHL hockey game, right? Am I
Yes,
saying that correctly, Reed?
Yes.
Yes.
It's professional hockey, but a minor
Yes.
league.
Yes.
Minor leagues are still professional, Logan.
Yes. Okay. Well, you get all ornery sometimes when I say certain words, so I just want to make sure I'm not, I'm not trying to,
What?
cause you
I
any
get all
pain
ornery
here.
when
Yes,
when
when
you
I say certain
certain
words.
Like what?
Yes. Like minor league hockey. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about. So,
Oh, God.
First of all, how did you get to do this? Right. I guess maybe we start there, and then we can go into your background at singing. Maybe we
Sure.
do the background. Maybe we go to the background first because that'll be timeline wise that might be the best way to talk about it.
Okay.
So how'd you start
all right.
singing?
Okay. So I started singing back in middle school, a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago. I started singing because after fifth grade, where in the district that Reed and I went to school, there were three options. You went into band, you sang in the choir, or you went into general music, which was essentially like a continuation of what happened in elementary school.
I forgot
and you
about
had,
this.
Yes, and you had to choose one of those three options because music in sixth grade was mandatory in our schools.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
you had to choose one of those three. And I didn't really
This
want
was
to.
in this was in sixth grade.
Correct. This was in sixth grade.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
at the time, I didn't really want to do general music because I was kind of bored of doing that because that was like just kind of what had been happening since, kindergarten through fifth grade. Band was not going to happen because Reed can attest to this. I had a horrendous experience attempting to learn the recorder in fourth grade, which was very much a self-directed project.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, we did recorder karate, which I feel like every elementary school. So recorder karate works like standard physical karate works, where
No,
you
it
have.
doesn't. No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
Whatever you're about to say, it does not.
There are parallels, trust me. So the way that recorder karate worked is that there was a book of songs, and the songs got progressively more difficult. And you had to learn the songs, and as you learned each song, you got a belt on your recorder, this little string that you'd tie on the end. When I was in fourth grade, the music teacher had a baby. And so this is true story.
Blame the kid.
Yeah.
So
you're blaming the music teacher's baby.
Hold on. No. So I don't even
Hmm.
remember the music teacher, to be honest. So the music teacher was on maternity leave, so we had this long-term substitute who was really not that great of a music teacher and really didn't teach anything. So we had to like self-direct ourselves. And at that time in life, I was not good at self-directing to learn how to do things.
Sixth grade?
No. This was fourth grade recorder karate.
Oh my gosh!
She kind of like taught us like the very basics, and beyond that, we had to learn it ourselves. And so I was
very basics, like you blow into this end. Is that that's where we're stopping after that instruction?
Yeah, and if you hold your fingers in this position, it plays this note. If you hold your fingers in this position, it plays this note, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do the recorder, Logan?
No, we did. I want to talk about my music program in a second, but we did piano. We had 4 organs, and then we moved on to guitar. So we did like piano, organ, and guitar. Yeah.
You didn't do hot crust buns?
No hot crust buns in the old recorder for Logan.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out.
But we
dude.
also in my school, when we got to 6th grade, we could be in band and choir were extracurricular activities. So everybody would we would do they called it exploratory, so it would be like an elective kind of, but everybody did. There was 4 of them, and so you did it for a quarter. So we had like art for a quarter, we had music for a quarter. I don't even remember what the other 2 were. It was probably like something silly, like how to type or something, and computer, and what was the other one?
Type to learn.
Something like that, yeah. But
Yeah.
so that's interesting to me this was like part of your curriculum,
Yeah.
So could you do more than one if you wanted to? Like, could you do choir and band, or no?
I think there may have been a way to be able to do more than one, but I was terrible at the recorder, and so that really didn't bode well for my prospects of learning an instrument. My parents kind of dissuaded me from picking up an instrument because the recorder did not go well. So perhaps I instead use a different instrument, my voice, and join the choir. So I joined choir in 6th grade and found that it was really the thing that was best for me and that I really enjoyed. And I started singing in 6th grade and just kind of kept at it. And throughout middle school and into high school, I did a number of music festivals, singing in solos, duets. I once did a barbershop quartet.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was in a barbershop quartet.
That is awesome.
It was
Did you
so
wear one of
much
those
fun.
little flat hat things?
So we
Please
didn't
tell
have
me you did.
hats. We didn't. But see, our high school had all of this old stuff, and we wore these. Reed might remember this. We wore these blue sparkly cummerbunds and bow ties.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah,
Do you know what a cummerbund is, Logan?
Yeah, it's I want to say like a belt, but it goes across your midsection. It's for like a,
It's not really designed
yeah.
to hold your pants up either.
No. It's like
No,
a decorative item.
Yeah. You gonna wear one for the wedding? Are we gonna get cummerbunds as the bridal party?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, darn it.
I mean, you
No.
generally wear a cummerbund when you wear a tuxedo. Like, we didn't wear tuxedos, but it still kind of like all went into the look. It was quite the look, I have to say. So that was barbershop in high school.
Do we have a photo of this that I can see? We don't need to put it in the episode, but I just like to see the outfit because I'm a big fan of sparkly attire. I have a big red sparkly jacket that I wear periodically. So
Okay.
I don't
I'm
know.
a
I
big fan
doubt we
of
have a
that.
photo, honestly.
Perhaps I think that there could be a photo of this somewhere that I
Okay.
could resurrect from
Really?
somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I would
sure
appreciate seeing that.
Oh
I
gosh,
definitely
how are you gonna
recall
find
there
this?
being a photo taken outside, like the back of the high school where the festival was called Solo and Ensemble, where Solo and Ensemble was held that year. I definitely remember there being a photo taken. Like that's a vivid memory of that. And we sang "Hello, Mary Lou." That was the piece that we
Mm.
sang, and it was so much fun. So then I continued singing, and like throughout this time too, I was also taking private voice lessons as well,
Mm. Okay.
and continued that through high school. And then come college, I wanted to continue singing because I'd been doing it for so long that it kind of became like an outlet for me to disconnect from other things. And so music was a bit of
Hmm.
like a way for me to disconnect. And I continued singing through college, was involved in college choir, took voice lessons in college as well. And then after graduating, I moved to Hawaii and I found a community choir to sing with while I was in Hawaii, and then moved to New York and I
Was it
sing with
when
a choir here.
did you find in Hawaii that your voice sounded better? And I have a reason
Uh,
for asking this question.
I, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I didn't notice a significant change.
Like you didn't notice it because I know people that have lung issues, like similar to some lung issues that I have. The salt water in the air can really help with like your respiratory, function and moisturizing the throat and all of the things. So that's it's just interesting, But no difference then between Hawaii and New York City because I feel like Hawaii, palm trees, lots of ocean. New York City, pollution, smog in your throat. That's not good.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some adverse effect by moving from Hawaii to New York and continuing to sing because, yeah, like you say, there's plenty of pollution in New York, but uh, likely it was better in Hawaii. I just don't
Yeah.
realize, and I've needed to overcompensate for the poor air quality in New York.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
gosh.
uh, so you have continued to sing then into your time in New York. Um, how has that been? And that's just like a regular choir. Is there a specific, is this like a men's choir? Is this like a mixed choir? I guess I don't know. I don't know if that's even the right terminology, but
Yeah, that's correct terminology. So it's a mixed choir. It's
okay.
male and female voices, but this is going to sound this is going slightly off topic. But mixed choir just makes it sound like reminds me of like Midwest church choir. I don't know if Reed, if you can relate to that, but it just reminds me of Midwest church choir.
Yeah.
Um, and you have the
You go
mixed
to
choir
church
Why?
and
that
you have the
sings.
mixed choir, the men's choir that would sing at different church
Yeah,
services. Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
Um, so it reminds me of that
Mm.
term, but anyway, so it's a mixed choir. I sing with the Central City Chorus. Give the choir a shout out on the
All
podcast.
right.
Um,
Do they have an
yeah,
Instagram page? Can I follow them
y-
on Instagram?
yeah. There definitely is an Instagram page.
All right.
So I sing with the
Great.
Central City Chorus. I've been singing. This is my third season now. In the choir. I'm also
Season.
the yeah
Oh.
yeah. So
So
we
wait. So you
perform.
have to. How does that work?
Yeah, so we perform three concerts a year. We have one in December, March, and May. And so those three concerts make up our season, and we generally start rehearsing end of August, early September, and then go through the last concert, which is generally mid-May. And then we take off during the summer months.
I see. Okay.
And I'm also the
And
treasurer of the choir because when
oh.
they find out that you're an accountant and you also sing, two things that generally don't mix, you become the treasurer of the choir. That happened in Hawaii as well.
The singing accountant. Okay.
Correct, correct.
The singing accountant. There you go.
The singing accountant. Yeah, that sounds like you could be that could be like your superhero name or something,
There we
or
go.
like that'd be like a good Instagram handle. The singing accountant. So you've been singing. Reed told me too that you have done the anthem before. This was not your first anthem experience.
Correct, correct. This was not the first Anthem experience, but Admittedly, I needed to dust off some cobwebs a bit because it has been a little while since doing it. So
Mm.
in college, there was always an anthem singer at all of the commencement ceremonies and convocation.
Yeah.
And so I was one of, before I graduated, in like the 2 years before I graduated, I just gigged essentially and sang the anthem at college at the commencement ceremonies. So I would show up, sing the anthem, and then need to wait through the ceremony. And then
Oh, they made you wait?
there was
Oh.
partway through, they would also sing the school's alma mater, and that was a fun experience. Like it was all like it was pretty large crowd, like pretty large venues because the commencement was held either because where I went to school there were 8 or 9 colleges, so
Oh, wow.
commencement ceremonies were held in the field house or in the hockey arena. The hockey arena sat about, I think, like 3,800. The field house could probably hold a bit more. Um, and so I sang there, and that was really fun because there was an organist who accompanied.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Number one, yeah, were you singing? This is great. Were you singing for all of these commencements
Yeah,
commencement season?
no. So
No, good
I
work.
was like,
Commencement season.
yeah. So I was usually one of like four-ish singers.
I see.
They'd
All
usually
right.
have about four singers that would rotate through, because otherwise, like there would be concurrent ceremonies. So like you might have like the business college
Yes,
commencement going
yes.
on in the field house and like the
Mm.
College of Science going on at the in the hockey arena. So then you'd have like going back and forth would be a bit difficult.
Mm.
So I usually would do like three or four ceremonies.
Wow. Okay. And so then you were accompanied by an organist. Did you did
Correct.
because I've never like I obviously watch people, and by the way, you're one of two now people that I know that have sung the national anthem at a professional hockey game. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Me and Jimmy Cornelison, like that. He follows me on
Okay.
Instagram. Thank you. He
Okay.
follows me on Instagram.
Does that mean that have you ever talked to the guy?
I have. He's very nice. I've talked to
Yeah?
him. Yeah,
Like
he's
actual
cool.
conversation?
Yeah, he was
All
at
right.
a party one time because you can like hire him to do gigs and stuff. And so
Yeah.
he came and sang the national anthem and then sang it in French, or he sang the Canadian national anthem in French. But anyway,
At a
that's
party?
not where at the party. Yeah.
Why? What?
That's a story for another time because
Okay.
he knew somebody and he was at the party. And,
And that's his thing.
You get to talking and to consuming beverages, and one thing
Well, you
leads to
just sing
another.
the national
All
anthem.
of a sudden, Jimmy's doing the national anthem.
I mean, you guys on a Jimmy
Yeah.
basis with him now?
Like I said, me and
That's
Jimmy like this.
that's Jimmy's party trick. I mean,
Yeah.
what can we say?
I guess so.
The
yeah.
anthem singer. So anyway, did you talk to the accompanist beforehand, the organist
Oh yeah,
beforehand?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
did you
there was.
practice? And did you like how did this work?
Oh yeah. So there would always be
Did you
they would
practice?
round.
What kind of question is that?
Yeah.
Well,
So
together, like or do they just
yeah.
because like like I've heard like professional musicians who are like reading sheet music, they can just like look like just go. They don't have to practice together. They can just all show up and do it together for the first time in front of people. Anyway, that's like an orchestra, like the Chicago Symphony Orchestra or something like that. So anyway,
Theoretically, you could. It's generally better to rehearse, but we rehearsed. They would have like before the commencement ceremonies all kicked off, they would have all of the singers come to the field house, and the organist was there, and you would run through it a few times with the organist, because the organist would generally play in two keys. You could choose from the higher key in I think it was D, or the lower key in B. I always chose the lower key because I have a lower register. And so then,
that's
yeah, we
another
would.
good word there. Register like that.
Thank you. So we would we'd rehearse both the alma mater and the anthem with the organist. But it's important to do the rehearsal because generally, as everyone who would sing were choir singers, and as a choir singer, you're more used to singing in spaces that are better suited acoustically. And then you get into a field house, you get into an arena, and the acoustics have completely gone out the window. There are speakers everywhere. There is sound reverberating off of everything. So it takes a second to get used to singing in that environment again, because if you're singing with that much reverb,
Yeah.
it takes a second to make sure that you're singing that you're singing in tempo and that you don't slow down, because you're listening to your own voice just reverberate throughout and getting slower and slower and slower as you keep singing.
And Reed said you didn't sing with IEMs when you sang with him. Have you ever sung with IEMs? Do you find
No.
those helpful? No. Okay. Well.
No, because see the way that it was like there was a monitor on the on
Yes.
stage,
Yeah. I see. I
so
see.
I could hear the organist that way. And yeah, generally when you have an electric organ as well, there's a lot of speakers going on with an electric organ.
Well, even non-electric organs, like some of
Yeah,
those,
even
are super powerful.
oh for sure. The organ
Like
is
we
a
have.
great instrument as a random aside.
Oh yeah, we used to go on a field trip with the choir to the. I want to say it's the world's largest private organ, but it might not. It might just be in the United States. Is held by a gentleman who lives in Illinois, who is close with our middle school, and he actually has a lake the shape of a peanut, but that's because he owns a nut company. But he has like a carousel and like all these stuff. But he has the world's largest private organ, and we got to like tour the pipes and all that stuff.
He has a lake
We did not
shape of a
tour the peanut lake. No, but no. So I as I alluded
I'm
to
looking
last
this
week,
up.
I don't know if you listened. Yeah, I'll tell you the person's name afterward.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it
so I
Peanut Lake?
usually I
What?
There's Peanut Lake in
No.
Crested
It's-
Butte, Colorado.
Don't no.
Reed,
That's not it.
Logan
That's
just
not
said
it.
Illinois.
That's not it. That's not it.
So I do listen to the podcast regularly, and so I actually found out that I would be a future guest on the podcast by listening to the podcast. That's how I found out. And I text Reed midway through, and I'm like, "So I'm going to be on a future episode."
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess I'm on. But no. I've been somehow recruited recently to MC various events. Mostly because I keep asking until they say yes, but I've been doing it, right? And so I've been getting in front of some bigger crowds, and just kind of, I wanted to talk to you about the feeling that you had, like when you're standing in the corner and they're like, the carpet is out, right? And they're announcing your name through the loudspeaker. I saw the video, and or like even before that, when you're getting ready to walk out onto the ice. What's going through your head?
Yeah, there's definitely a tinge of nervousness, but also then being in front of the crowd too. There's an energizing sense about it that I don't know, brings something to me of where like these people are here to listen to me, and I then want to bring the best performance that I can for these people that have come. I think also like one thing that's interesting too about singing in an arena or like the field house in college is there's so many lights that you don't see any of the people, but you hear the people. And so it's kind of fun like when especially at the end as you're getting to right before the end, like before the end the home of the brave, and people start clapping, you're then kind of like jolted back
Yeah.
to reality a bit, and you're like, oh yeah, like they're the people, and it kind of just like it pushes you into like a strong finish. But I think like I've gotten to the point where like the nerves have it's a positive nervous energy that helps me through the performance. Never something like, oh, we're like, I'm not sure, am I going to sing the right words, am I going to like completely skip a line, am I like that that's never
Am I gonna
that's never
skip a line?
happened. But that does happen. There are plenty of
gonna-
famous examples of skip lines.
Oh, that's
We're gonna go
true,
ahead and
that's
knock
true.
on some wood here.
Plenty of famous examples of botched anthems. Yeah.
Yeah, as Reed was saying too, the anthem is like a hard song to sing, right? It's like
Yeah.
all talk about registers. It's all up and down the register.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like because I have a pretty low singing voice, and it's so when I start pretty low because the anthem gets quite high. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize is because by the time you get midway through, you're hitting a pretty high note. So you need to make sure you're starting somewhere reasonable so that when you get to that, it's not all, you don't have a, for lack of a better term, an oh shit moment because you're now reaching for a note that you maybe don't have. But obviously, like
All right.
I chose a key and a starting pitch that was actually that was going to work for my voice, having done this before. And I will say, like, the Star Spangled Banner is not a song that's written particularly well for like audience participation. Like, if you think about,
Oh God, no.
That's
if you think
false. I challenge that
I-
statement.
well,
You
I mean,
think
it
it's
doesn't.
good? It's easy for an audience to sing along.
He didn't say sing along. He said participate. Have
Well,
you ever been in
partic-
the United
clap
Center
along
for
like
an
a Blackhawks game. Okay, that doesn't
Sorry.
count.
By
That's participating.
participate, I more so meant singing along.
I
But
see.
I'll clarify, singing along. But if you think about the Canadian national anthem, they
Yeah.
like "O Canada" does not vary. Like, the pitch does not vary that much throughout the piece. That arguably, like, that "O Canada" is significantly easier to sing than the Star Spangled Banner, and also makes it better if you want everyone to sing along because you don't have like you're not like reaching for some high or low note in the piece.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't really see a lot of singing along now that you say that. Have you seen the bongo anthem?
No, no.
I forgot about this.
Dude, the
Oh my
bongo
gosh.
anthem, and I mean, might be the greatest national anthem that was ever done at a game ever.
Huh,
Because
okay.
they just, I mean, it was like this guy,
The
he
greatest
was
one ever?
ripping on the bongos. Dude, well, besides Wayne Messmer at the
He was,
I want to say
he was ripping on the
1992
bongos. though.
All-Star game, but this guy was, I mean, he was going to town on the and there's only two bongos, so it's just the beat and two notes. So I mean, you have to kind of do some imagination with that one. But
Okay,
you sang a cappella in at this game with your brother.
Yes.
Your brother didn't sing with you,
No.
but was that a choice you made, or was that just what was told to you? You're singing a cappella.
That's just the way that they do it.
I
You
see,
sing
I
a
see.
cappella because there's no. I mean, like, that arena doesn't have any sort of live instrument, and there's no chance that I would sing with a recording anyway.
Really? Why is that?
Uh, because with a recording, you're stuck with the tempo that the recording has, and so if you want any sort of artistical discretion, I suppose we could say, of like holding something a bit longer, taking a bit of a longer pause. You don't have that with a recording.
Yep.
And second, with a recording, it's more difficult to find an appropriate key. Like, if the recording that they would give me is in too high of a key, well, it's kind of a non-starter because I know that it's not really that the high note is not going to sound like it should.
Yeah. No, that makes sense because we have our commencement ceremonies. We have a person who sings at a lot of them, and he always wants to sing with a track, which is interesting. Like in my experience with people who are singing the anthem, most of the people that I've come across have wanted to sing with a track. Now I don't know if that's just because, I mean, they all sound really good, but that's just what everybody is requesting. And most of the time we say absolutely not. And so they don't end up singing with the track, but they really want to. So,
Huh. I personally, I would just prefer to sing a cappella
yeah.
because
That
then
makes
that
sense.
way I don't need to. I can, yeah. I think with a track, it would take more time to get used to the track to determine like the nuances of the track of does it speed up somewhere, does it slow down? Because at that point the musical decisions are made for you by the track, not you as the singer of deciding, okay, let me give some more time at this point, or slow it down, speed it up, and you don't have that decision anymore.
Yeah, at the home of the brave, you can give a little bit of extra oomph right in that, in that last note there.
Oh gosh.
So, I had one more thing I wanted to ask. Then now I can't remember what it is. So, I mean, is this something that you like to do? Is this something that you'd like to do more of? Like, sing the anthem? Is this like, I mean, I don't know. you know, like, I don't know what like the top. I mean, the top for like a, you know what I mean, like in the ladder of singing, like progression, like what the progression is, like if this is like the highest that you want to go, if you want to try like go high, like you know what I'm trying to ask, like
Yeah, I
is
get
there
what you
something
mean.
more that you would like to do, or would you be satisfied with singing the anthem?
I mean, this was certainly a very satisfying experience for sure. Just in terms of like sheer crowd and largest, like this is definitely, I would say probably this is definitely one of the largest venues that I've sung in and one of the largest crowds in terms of like non-choral singing because I mean previously like with choral singing I've sung in Carnegie Hall in New York. I've sung there on two occasions. Um, but in terms of anthem singing, I do kind of want to push it one step further because Reed actually sent this to me and learned that the New Jersey Devils have open auditions for anthem singers.
Oh,
And so Reed actually still owes me this, but I need the
Oh
audio
yeah,
only.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I figured. The I need the audio only.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course, anytime. I'm your brother after all.
Yeah.
So the Devils have open auditions for anthem
oh wow.
singers. So I'm going to submit the recording from the last performance for to sing possibly at a Devils game.
That would be really
Um,
cool. You know,
yeah.
well, you know, first thing, Adobe has a free tool online that'll let you convert a video into audio only in case Reed
Oh,
is
there you go, Linden.
unable to.
Oh, come
Great.
on.
Yeah. So
Thanks for that, Logan.
you're welcome. You're welcome. They have some whole
I mean,
suite of free tools, which are really
yeah,
actually convenient.
but on the flip side, this is also Reed's area of expertise as well. That'd
This
be
is
like
true.
me.
This is true.
That'd be like Reed asking me a financial related question and me telling Reed to go to consult the just ask
There's this thing called
ChatGPT what to do
Excel,
about it.
learn how to use
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Ever hear of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. You know, I gotta give you know Adobe a shout out here.
That's
But yeah,
for-
no,
I was gonna say,
no.
wow, it's just like I was gonna say, like no pay, no say. I mean, you got to get
We don't need
Adobe
to give
as
Adobe a
as a
shout-out.
This is
Yeah,
true. This is true.
What are we doing?
This is true. Well, one of our three listeners
We
is
had all
currently
of our
on the show,
podcasts in
so
iMovie.
yes. But no, hey, Linden, thanks for coming on, and we like I said, I like talking to interesting people, and so you're welcome back anytime. I told your
I'm
father
not
Steve
interesting
that
enough.
a
Okay.
couple days
Yeah,
last week
Steve.
or 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
you know, anytime you're welcome back. But I think we got to move on to odd news here. Unless there's any other final thoughts that you have, either of you, about Linden's singing experience.
No, that was fun. I got a lot of good compliments from it from the people in the office. A lot of people that I learned that when they hear a male voice, they just assume that it's a baritone. They're like, "Is he a baritone?" I'm like, "Well, he's technically a bass, but everyone thinks that a bass is a baritone because people hear deep voice and they go straight to baritone for some reason."
Is bass lower than baritone?
Yes,
It is.
Okay.
It is.
bass is lower
I
than
see.
baritone. Yeah.
At least the general guess wasn't tenor because everyone's always like first guessed is, oh, are you a tenor? Like because everyone just seems to know tenors, but no, I'm
Yeah.
not.
No,
I'm not a tenor.
not quite.
No
No.
tenor.
No.
You're just all about that bass. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah, right.
So,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
yeah. All right. So, odd news. It was April Fool's Day this week, and you know we always get a couple some good April Fool's Day pranks from various companies. I guess I'm going first. I don't. Linda, did you have some odd news too? I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of the line here.
I didn't have any odd news, and I was trying to find. You know, I do have one question, and I was going to try to find a better way to segue this in. But Logan, have you ever seen any? Have you seen any good FDR movies lately?
Okay. Okay. No, I have not. No. Okay. What is this, a family affair? Am I a topic of conversation at your family dinners? On your Sunday phone calls? Are you guys being like, oh, you know, I really got Logan today on the podcast. Yeah, okay.
I
You guys
will.
are just hilarious.
All right.
Hilarious.
I will admit, I told Reed after that happened, I said to Reed, I'm like, Reed, you gotta slip that in out to more episodes.
Oh gosh. No, I have not seen any FDR movies lately.
I heard that
Okay.
FDR was a good singer himself too. He was probably a bass.
I'm sure he was probably a tenor.
If he didn't die, he probably would have gotten some singing parts in some movies as well to extend his acting career as well.
Yeah, and he was the one with polio.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who
Just
was the
making
actor?
sure. Teddy.
Teddy.
Was it not Teddy? Who was the actor?
That was Ronald Reagan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Oh my gosh. Jeez,
See, I was so
Logan.
confident with that too. I'm like, yeah, it's not FDR.
You're way
Teddy.
too confident on Teddy.
Teddy, write it down.
It's not any of the Roosevelts. None of them.
No.
No,
Oh
No,
my
no.
gosh.
Roosevelt, and it wasn't Taft who got stuck in a bathtub either.
No, at least you got that one.
See, I do know that one.
Right.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
now that we're past our history
Holy
quiz
cow.
portion of the episode, April Fool's Day, like I said, was this week. So all sorts of fun products that were announced. Inevitable annual parade of corporate jets, japes, and jokes, including an umbrella for your Uggs and Butterfingered flavored ramen. Doesn't that sound good?
No.
You don't need a lot of ramen. Do you guys like ramen? I don't. I've never really.
I
never really
can't
had
remember the last
ramen.
time I had ramen.
I
If I've ever
like
had it,
ramen,
honestly.
but I mean, not like
Just
not
noodles,
the
right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also like not the microwave type. I mean, there's plenty of like other like actually good ramen too.
Not Butterfinger flavored.
I mean,
Definitely not Butterfinger
no,
flavored.
no, it's
This I guess this really isn't odd news. I just wanted to talk about some fun April Fool's Day products. Attempted humor include chicken sauce flavored Coke. What is chicken
Sorry,
sauce?
what?
I don't even know what chicken sauce is.
I don't know.
Keebler
Chicken sauce?
cookie toothpaste, hydrating mask for your right. Not gonna go forward with that. Raising Cane's, we had actually Raising Cane's for dinner, and they announced that Raising Cane's enlisted the help of Hollywood star McKenna Grace to unveil Cane's Sauce Coke. Cane's Sauce Coke.
Who's
a
McKenna
hoax
Grace?
Variety of Coca-Cola inspired by the eatery's signature sauce. Have you been to Raising Cane's? Do you like the sauce?
yes. If you're talking to me, yes, I have been, and the sauce is good.
I see. Okay, well that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, this was. Yeah, I'm gonna just scroll past that one. Puff marshmallow face mask, not as good. Umbrella, yeah, this odd news really sucks. I apologize. This
What is an
not the best
umbrella?
work here.
Where's the umbrella
an
go on
umbrella
the
for your
UGG?
An umbrella. It's actually on the side here of the UGG. Can I share my screen window?
You can.
Chrome tab. Boom, boom. Bada bing, right here. So we've got an umbrella here. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's not what I thought. That's not
Okay.
how I thought it would be. I thought it would be on the toe.
Yeah, because
You know.
it's not really functional. Because where do you put your foot into the shoe? And where's your leg go?
This
Anyway.
also feels like a very AI generated image.
Yep.
And I know how Reed
Yeah,
feels
it
about that.
does.
So
That
we're
background
gonna
is
stop
AI,
sharing that right
100%.
now.
Some good AI slop.
Do better, Ugg.
Yeah. So yeah, just some fun stuff. Did either of you guys see any good or pull any fun April Fool's Day pranks?
Did not pull any. Didn't really. I don't know. April Fool's has kind of lost its luster over the years. You know, it's not as good as it once was.
You're also
Yeah.
an adult now, so that may have something to do with it. But
You can see
know.
through it a little bit more. That's fair.
Yeah. I feel like April Fool's was like a thing in elementary school. Oh, Logan, I saw that look on your face. There's sirens going past. If
Was
you're,
that
you're
you?
hearing
I thought
yeah,
the
that was
sirens
me.
were here.
No, no, those were sirens by me.
Whoa,
No.
that was
No.
weird.
My word.
No.
That was so weird. that like sounded distant. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, there were sirens that went past over here. No good April Fools. The only April Fools thing I saw was we have. Are you familiar with the Bevy water machines that like give you flavored water or like flavored sparkling water?
I don't
It's
drink
like a
flavored water. It
okay.
scares
It's a
me.
You don't drink water in general, do you?
It's
I
um.
I do actually. I ingest water.
So like we have at my office we have this bevy machine where you can select like if you want flavored water or whatever, and there was like an
That sounds
April
very
Fool's
fancy.
thing. It's reasonably fancy. Uh, there was an April Fool's like they did like this April Fool's thing of like oh like promotion elixir when like the screen like first woke up and then you would like tap it and it's like oh April Fool's, but it was fairly
Promotion
stupid if you
elixir?
ask me. Yeah, like because like all work related things like
Interesting.
promotion elixir or like meeting like they're like it was like all like riffs on work things. So like
I
meeting
see.
banisher or something like it was all like these weird like names to like these beverages that they came up with and it was kind of silly.
Gotcha.
Well,
Not
we have
not
a
good
water
not
jug
good
with
April Fools.
cones at my work. I work at a school, and so we don't even have. We just have cones where you put the water in the cone.
Nice. What like
Yeah.
You
those
don't
those
have
little
cups, you just have cones?
No, we don't even have cups. We have cones.
like the paper
a-
cones.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where. But I just put it in my reusable bottle, so
That's
the cones are just
sounds
for
like a better
visitors.
idea.
Visitors are stuck with the cones. All right, Reed, you got anything?
Visitors are
It's
stuck
probably
with
better
the
than whatever
cones.
my nonsense was.
Yeah, so we like to talk about world records on this show, of course.
Never.
That's David Rush.
Is,
Nope.
This one is not David Rush, actually.
Oh, okay.
Hot
This guy
dog.
calls him. This is a guy that calls himself Mr. World Records, which I feel like David Rush would like to have a
I
word
feel like
with this
that's
guy.
David Rush 10 times
Yeah.
over. What?
He
Who
also
is this
goes
guy?
by Johnny Cruz Buckingham. Never heard of this guy. He uses the handle
Oh
Mr.
no,
World
we've
Records
talked about
online.
Johnny Cruz back. We've talked about this guy before.
Okay, well,
We've talked about him before.
He was trying to get the record for the fastest towed asphalt skiing. Oh, wow. I just played this video, and the music was really loud. Wow. He went 69 miles an hour while
Asphalt skiing.
on asphalt. He wanted to inspire his inner child, who
Oh.
also has a
Wait,
name,
did you say-
Hurricane Thomas
No.
Buckingham.
Did you say this? I thought you said toad skiing.
I thought
As
you
in
said that
toad,
too.
Like a frog, but a toad. Like I thought you
no.
were talking about an
No, like-
actual toad
No,
that was skiing.
Jesus. No, like he's being towed by a car.
Oh,
So confused. I was so confused. I was like,
Oh
"What are
my
you
gosh.
talking about?"
No,
Oh
towed,
my
like
gosh.
Towed behind a vehicle. He got towed behind a Tesla. Because those things can go fast. 69 miles an
my.
hour. He has more than a dozen other Guinness World Records, which is definitely less than David Rush, including most fire knife spins in 30 seconds and fastest time to travel to all 7 continents. Let's see what other. Listen to these other records he broke.
So this
Most-
record is essentially like the Casey Neistat, except in record form when he like
On
when
asphalt.
he snowboarded through New York.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that is the only part of this record that is difficult is the person driving the car and the balance of the person on the skis, and how big of a parking lot you're in.
Well, and how thick the skis are, because I would
I feel
imagine
like
you're
if-
wearing
if-
down the skis like it's like a hot piece of corn with some butter. You're wearing
If
it down.
we had the lack of risk awareness that this guy had, if we were less risk averse, or more risk averse, less risk averse.
Less
I think
I
it's
think
less.
that's a word. Risk
If
averse?
we were less risk averse, more willing to take risk, we could do this.
Yeah.
Because I know that Honda of yours gets going pretty quick, Logan,
Hey,
and we could probably get up to at least
Don't
70.
knock it till you try it.
So the other
we
records
could take
he
a wide
has-
into Subaru if you too. The Subaru.
The other records he has:
Don't
most
knock
fire
it till you
knife
try it.
spins on a balance board in a minute, 104. Most catches of a medicine ball wearing boxing gloves by a pair in 1 minute. We could do that, Logan.
That's so random.
Fastest time to burst 100 balloons with the feet, 19.78 seconds. And
I've
here
got
we go,
some big-
Linden. Linden, you could do this. Fastest time to
God.
travel to all New York City ferry stops, 6 hours, 59 minutes, and 20 seconds.
But that's so bizarre. But honestly, there are fewer because there are people that try to break the record of getting to all New York
The
City
subway
subway
stop?
stations.
We talked about that
Like-
like a month ago, I
Yeah.
think, on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, that like I recently watched a video about that, and that requires like an insane amount of planning. Whereas
Yeah,
I feel
a
like
lot
the
of luck,
ferries,
too. But yes.
yeah, a lot of luck too. But I feel like the ferry would be easier because there's significantly fewer ferry stops.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, because they only said 7 hours for that, so.
Are you a big Casey Neistat fan? You brought Casey Neistat up. Do you know of Casey?
Yeah, I
obviously.
know of Casey. I mean,
Who
I
doesn't?
don't know him personally, and I watch his stuff from time to time. I feel like I was definitely more on the Casey Neistat train when he was like doing the daily vlogging years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was peak internet.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
Definitely. That's when I got into him, and then he doesn't really make a lot of videos anymore. And now they're just
No.
kind of like weird, motivational kind of weird things. But
In the last 6 months, he's only posted 6 times.
yeah,
Yet the most recent one I watched was his one about like one of the recent blizzards that came through New York. That was a pretty good
yeah,
video. But otherwise, I haven't really watched any of his recent stuff.
yeah. He just posted yesterday. I couldn't even tell you what it was about. It was just like some nonsense. I don't know.
Navigating the Matrix. 3 days ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
Interesting.
I don't know. But anyway, hey, Linden, thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah,
It's
of
good
course.
talking.
Of course.
Good talking always.
Is this officially our longest episode outside of the Halloween live stream?
I think it is now.
It may
I think
be.
it is.
We've hit
Wow.
45
We're up
minutes for
over
the first
45
time.
minutes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, be privileged. So you've been on the two of the longest episodes that we've ever had.
Wow,
Yeah.
The
I'm
live
really
stream
like
and then this.
yeah.
You're just
In terms of like Basement Bird records, like I'm really like raking in the records here.
Oh,
yeah,
wait a second.
We're going to have to get you a trophy.
The Thanksgiving episode we did when you were here, Linden, was 45 minutes and 11 seconds. So this one will be a little bit longer.
Oh.
This is now officially
So
the
this
longest
is-
episode.
Okay.
The longest
Yeah.
traditional style episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I come on, there's just we just keep going.
There's a lot to talk
Well,
about.
I feel bad
Yeah.
because I've just been like drilling you with questions, and Reed's just been kind of sitting here. But I told him
That's okay.
last week, I'm just a curious person, and I like to talk to people and find stuff out. So, thanks you again for being here. But
Of course.
hopefully we'll have some good social media clips this week, because now my other endeavors are concluded, so I'll have a little bit more time to help post some more clips. So Reed's going to tell you about the social media channels right now.
Yeah. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, yeah, and they're supposed to bring the video version. They said by the end of March. It's still not
guys-
there, so I don't
You
know
guys
what's
have been
going on
talking
with
about
that.
this for like the past like month. I feel like I
Logan's
keep hearing
been
about the
talking about
Apple
this for the
Podcast video version.
They announced it like towards the end of February, and it said coming mid to late March. And so I was like, "This is great," and it has not come to Apple Podcasts yet. It's still not. It's still not there. So we're still hoping that that's going to come soon, though. But Spotify and YouTube. Even if you don't have a Spotify Premium account, though, you can listen on Spotify. So
Yep.
I've done that before. So and to watch on Spotify. So. But anyway, hey, thanks, Linden and Reed. It's been a pleasure, and we will catch y'all on the next one.
So yeah.